welcome to the deep dive. Okay, just picture this with me for a second. All eyes are on London.
Yeah.
You've got the red carpet, the trumpets, a visiting head of state.
Mm-hmm. The full works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
King Charles III, Queen Camilla, they're extending the royal welcome at Windsor Castle. It's, the ultimate display of diplomatic grandeur.
Yeah, tradition, protocol, carefully crafted messages of alliance, all that.
But then, sort of happening at the same time, over on the airwaves, you've got a British broadcaster preparing something completely different.
Uh-huh. Deliberate, direct.
And totally unprecedented, a kind of counter-program.
Right.
So today, we're diving deep into this really extraordinary friction, this clash between Channel 4's planned Night of Untruths and President Trump's second state visit to the UK.
It's a fascinating setup. Diplomacy versus media scrutiny, almost in real time.
Absolutely. We'll explore how this big diplomatic event is basically about to become a battleground for truth. Our mission here is to unpack the specific programming Channel 4 has lined up, their, provocative reasons for doing it.
And the wider picture, too, right? Media accountability, how we handle information these days.
Exactly. Consider this your shortcut, really, to understanding this fascinating point where politics and television collide.
And it is a striking contrast, isn't it? Right from the start, you've got the weight of history, the state visit tradition.
Centuries of it.
And then on the other hand, a broadcaster deliberately choosing to challenge, the narrative of truth coming from a world leader. It's quite a moment.
It really is. So with that sort of dramatic backdrop set, let's get the basic facts down about President Trump's visit. It's happening September 17th to 19th, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And what really stands out, beyond just the usual ceremony, is that this is his second state visit to the UK.
Yeah, that's significant. The sources are calling it an unprecedented gesture for a U.S. president.
That alone tells you something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
About how important this relationship is seen.
It does. A second state visit isn't just ticking a box. It signals, a deep level of diplomatic strategic alignment. It goes beyond just the first hello.
So what does the welcome look like? The ceremonial side.
Well, it's the full royal treatment. President Trump, First Lady Melania Trump, they'll be received with full honors.
Yeah.
Windsor Castle, King Charles III, Queen Camilla hosting.
Right. The pageantry.
Exactly. Inspection of the Guard of Honor, the big state banquet that's always a cornerstone.
And more royals involved, too.
Yes. They'll also be greeted by the Prince and Princess of Wales, William and Kate. And President Trump is expected to lay a wreath at Queen Elizabeth II's tomb.
A nod to history, continuity.
Precisely. It's all designed to project stability, reinforce those historical ties.
Okay, so that's the pomp, the ceremony, always eye-catching. But what's the actual tangible value here? For the U.S., for the U.K. especially right now, why make this unprecedented gesture? It can't just be about the photo ops.
No, absolutely not. Look, while the spectacle gets the headlines, the real meat of this visit seems to be about cementing strategy. And it's
Right.
not just about, reaffirming old friendships. It's forging these new economic and tech pacts, big ones.
Like what specifically?
Well, consider the proposal for a dozen nuclear power plants and nuclear-powered data centers.
Wow, okay. That's huge.
It's a massive long-term investment. Think energy independence for the UK, plus the infrastructure needed for all the data-heavy industries coming down the line.
And there's more on the tech side.
Yeah, a broader technology pact. Aiming for cooperation in fields like, AI, obviously, semiconductors, the chips and everything,
Crucial.
and quantum computing, which is still emerging but potentially revolutionary.
So these deals are really about the future economy, future strategy.
Absolutely. This level of cooperation on critical infrastructure, on cutting-edge tech, it says a lot about how important both sides see this relationship in, a pretty fast-changing world.
It sounds like a very ambitious agenda.
Yeah.
But you mentioned scrutiny earlier. How's the public taking all this? The official welcome, the big deals. Is everyone on board?
That's where you get the other side of the coin. Public sentiment, as you know, it doesn't always line up neatly with diplomacy. Remember his first state visit in 2019? There were widespread protests. Very vocal.
I do remember, yes. Big crowds in London.
Exactly. And the sources say protests are also expected this time around. The Stop Trump Coalition, for instance, they're already planning demos in central London near Windsor Castle, too.
So a bit of a mixed reception expected on the streets.
Definitely suggests that the official narrative won't be the only one playing out. There's dissent.
Okay, but then I think the truly unique angle here shifts from the streets and the palaces to the TV screen. Channel 4, this Night of Untruths. What exactly are they planning?
Right, this is where it gets really audacious. The main event is a program called Trump v. the Truth.
Okay.
And the concept is, well, bold. They intend to broadcast an unbroken catalog, as they put it, of over 100 falsehoods, distortions, inaccuracies.
Uttered or written by him.
Yes, uttered or written by President Trump since taking office in January. And some sources are quite specific, saying this refers just to the first few months of his second term.
Wow, an unbroken catalog. That sounds intense. When's it airing and how do they present that much information?
It's set for Wednesday, September 17th. Kicks off at 10 p.m. local time on Channel 4, and it's going to run over several hours, so it'll dominate their evening.
And the format? It can't just be a list, surely.
No, the format's quite specific. These statements, these alleged untruths, will be punctuated by brief text-based fact checks.
Ah.
So viewers get the claim and then immediately the context or the correction, offering, as they say, the truth behind the tweets, speeches, and sound bites.
So it's a kind of forensic approach, but stretched out over hours.
Exactly. It's less about a quick debunking, more about building this monumental archive of disputed claims, almost forcing you to confront the sheer volume of it. It feels different from standard fact-checking pieces.
Yeah, it does. And Ian Katz, Channel 4's chief content officer, he made quite a claim about its scale, didn't he?
He certainly did. Really hammered home how unique they think this is. He called it the longest uninterrupted reel of untruths, falsehoods, and distortions ever broadcast on television.
That's quite the statement. Really underlines their intention.
No ambiguity there. They want this to be seen as a major media event.
So what sort of specific things might they cover? The sources gave some examples.
Yeah, they did. It looks like they'll revisit claims that got a lot of press already. Things like the false boast about stopping $50 million going to Gaza for Hamas condoms.
Right, that was widely reported as inaccurate.
Exactly. Or his debunked claim about sending over $300 billion in aid to Ukraine. The actual figure was much lower.
Okay.
But they also mentioned they might look at smaller but similarly inaccurate claims, like about egg prices or immigration impacts. So showing a range.
And more sensitive topics, too.
Potentially, yes. The sources mentioned the program could examine his claims over his relationship with the late child sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
That's obviously very contentious.
Extremely. And it's noted that Trump denied writing a specific illustrated message to Epstein and is, in fact, suing the Wall Street Journal over their reporting on it. So including that would be, well, legally and editorially complex, but they seem to be considering a broad scope.
It really sounds like Channel 4 is going all in on this theme, not just as one program, but creating a whole atmosphere around it.
That's exactly it. It's not just Trump v. the truth in isolation. The theme runs across the whole day, September 17th.
How so?
Well, get this. They're having a Trump impersonator take over from the Channel 4 continuity announcers.
I mean, the people who introduce the shows.
Yeah, those voices you hear between programs giving times and summaries. This impersonator will apparently deliver false information.
Like what?
Misleading program descriptions, maybe exaggerated run times, that kind of thing. The idea is it's a sobering reminder, they say, of what happens when sources you normally trust can't be relied upon.
That's quite something. Very disruptive.
It's definitely designed to be jarring, yeah, to make you think about misinformation constantly throughout the day.
And there's other programming, too, supporting this.
Yes, they're also airing the second episode of a documentary series called The Donald Trump Show.
Okay, what's that about?
It's described as a landmark 3-part documentary from 72 films who've won awards. Apparently, it uses news footage from TV, podcasts, social media to tell the story of the last 9 months of his presidency.
Oh.
As an unfolding soap opera is the phrase used. So it sounds like it provides a broader narrative context, looking at how his second term has been portrayed in the media landscape. It adds another layer to this whole theme of media, truth, and power.
Okay, so we have the state visit, the deals, the expected protests,
Yeah.
and then this massive, multi-layered media counteroffensive from Channel 4. Why? What's the driving force behind such a, well, confrontational move?
Yeah, it's definitely confrontational. And Ian Katz, again, has been very direct about the why. He explicitly said he hopes the program will remind viewers how disorientating and dangerous the world becomes when the most powerful man on earth shows little regard for the truth.
Strong words.
Very. And he even added that little barb.
Yeah.
If President Trump cares to watch along after the state banquet, he may even clear up a few misconceptions.
Wow, that's basically throwing down the gauntlet.
Pretty much. It really shows Channel 4 isn't just reporting here. They're performing a kind of media act. It makes you wonder, is this the new way media tries to hold power accountable? Or does it risk just deepening the divides by taking such an explicit stance?
That's the big question, isn't it? Doesn't this kind of direct challenge risk looking partisan? How does Channel 4 justify stepping so boldly into the political arena during a state visit?
That really goes to the heart of Channel 4's identity, its DNA. The sources frame this as the latest attempt by Channel 4 to return to its disruptive roots.
Disruptive roots.
Yeah, Channel 4 was set up with a specific remit to be innovative, challenging, offer alternative views. They've often seen that as a mandate to provoke, to question authority.
So this fits their history.
Very much so. They see themselves as battling for relevance in this incredibly fast-changing media landscape. Katz talks about an increasingly timid broadcasting environment, suggesting they feel other broadcasters are playing it too safe.
So they see themselves as filling a gap, being the bold ones.
That seems to be the thinking. It's not just about Trump. It's about Channel 4 asserting its identity as a broadcaster that isn't afraid to be adversarial if they think it serves the public interest.
And they have done similar things before, right? Memorable stunts, you could call them. I definitely remember the ice block incident.
Oh, yeah. The melting ice block for Boris Johnson in the 2019 climate debate when he didn't show up, that got huge attention.
It certainly did. Hard to ignore.
And more recently, they aired Partygate, the factual drama about the lockdown breaches in Downing Street. Again, very direct, very politically charged.
So these aren't just random acts.
No, there's a pattern. They consistently use distinctive, sometimes controversial programming to, as they see it, fulfill their public service remit, pushing boundaries, challenging norms. This history makes their current plan seem less like a sudden shock and more like, well, Channel 4 being Channel 4.
Okay, I see the logic. From their perspective, the disruptive roots, the perceived need to challenge. But given how polarized everything is now, especially media consumption, could this just end up, preaching to the converted?
That's a really critical point. Does it change minds or just solidify existing opinions?
Right, or even deepen the divisions further.
It's the inherent risk, isn't it? Channel 4 seems to be betting that the sheer scale, the hours-long, unbroken catalog with fact checks might cut through. The idea, maybe, is that presenting such a volume of documented claims objectively could resonate even with skeptics, or at least arm those looking for detailed information.
But the risk remains.
Absolutely. In an era where trust in media itself is so fractured and often politicized, some will inevitably see this through a partisan lens, no matter Channel 4's stated aims. It definitely forces us, you, me, everyone, to think hard about how media can effectively promote informed debate without just making the echo chambers louder.
Well, this has been a really fascinating look at these two narratives colliding, the formal diplomacy of the state visit and Channel 4's incredibly bold media response.
Yeah, the traditional pomp versus this audacious challenge.
It really highlights the complex power dynamics, doesn't it?
Okay.
And the tricky role media tries to play in holding power accountable.
It really does, and it pushes all of us, you listening included, to think about that role. The importance of fact-checking, sure, but also just the need for critical thinking constantly with everything we consume.
So maybe the final thought for you to chew on is this. What does this unique clash, this state visit versus this TV event, actually reveal about how media, political power, and our own perception of truth are changing in this interconnected world?
Or maybe, how could something like this actually influence public conversation? Could it set a new standard or a new challenge for media accountability when we're all drowning in information?
Something definitely worth mulling over. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.